Okay, when this all ends, which it will very soon, there will be a question about what are all these? Are these broad accusations? Or what is this? I want to tell Tommy Nichols, I'm not after you, Tommy, and I'm not. Those things that happened affected me. Hearing the stories from the guys, okay? Those things affected me. And this is not, all that played on my mind because those things did happen, okay? I didn't want to have to share all of the names of my friends. So when the federal investigation is done and everybody looks at it, it wasn't just sour grapes again. It was, a lot of those things affected me. The role Miss Ludicky plays, after now this will finally get a federal investigation and the national media will see it. The only thing about Miss Ludicky was I made an attempt to tell her that there was a long-term criminal problem with some CCPD, and she didn't want to hear that. And so she also made a mistake in, if she didn't say that and it was properly reported, because though I've talked about these issues a lot, as you see in this part of the country, they don't fully vet them. When it's all said and done and finally it comes to the light of national media, what we say is whether or not they were all voluntary, but those oral sex from the homeless, whether some were both bi or some were, it affected me. It affected me. Many of these stories were the assaults and the abuse. Eventually, they're going to look at all the records and, you'll see probably a history of maybe abuse that I'm not aware of with maybe other complaints that were made. Some people thought, like the little thing of the mattress affected me because they lied to my daughter. And I know they thought, well, we'll throw his life into disarray. A lot of the cases that are ruled on just in this county, I've also tried to empathize, thinking if they know that some of the rulings were wrong or they were very questionable, what they do is they say, let's throw it into disarray. Mr. Skirkin did that. And a lot of these things came all the way back, but Hannah Overton or others, not totally innocent in everything, but the way they presented those things. But then when they throw the people into the system, they think, oh, like a piling on. That's what happened with the silly mattress thing. But I did go to court on the mattress. I had to go before a judge. Why is it big? Because she told my daughter, you don't have to, or there'll no fine. And in the midst of all those other things, you thought that was kind of fun. And then picture me dealing with, before the judge, and I had to go. And I explained that the code enforcement, it was a legal proceeding. I said, look, I do ministry, and I was helping somebody dump a mattress or drop off a mattress, and it fit. And they said, well, they looked at it real quick. But the little thing with Tommy Nichols, like, go to his house and tell him if he picks it up. And Tommy's done so much bad and worse. So I knew, but then it affected my wife in the midst of dealing with everything. And let's get around. Tommy planted his Xanax on Jesse. Now Jesse left town. I don't know if Jesse, I never really knew his last name. We're going to document this. But this was a case I talked about a lot. Jesse was married to Angel Hanley, who's a friend of mine. We've got to document. If we have national media that's going to look, we document. There was a house, a property, it's in 918 West Lakeside, Corpus Christi, Texas. I used to do Bible studies there. And there's a sweet girl named Angel Hanley, a friend on Facebook. But as I was, all the years of stories, but she was married to Jesse. I don't know Jesse's last name, if it was Hanley but Jesse, he'd recount the story, how Officer Tommy Nichols, one time, hit him and bumped him with the cop car in an alley. Look, this has gone on for so long out here. And like Jesse fell down to one knee. Now they laugh when they recount the story, but this is how I knew it was true, because Jesse repeated the story. He became friends with Tommy after all this, but it was like funny to the guys. And that night he hit Jesse. Now Jesse had a history of problems in the past, so that's how Tommy knew he could get away with some of these things. But he pulled out a little baggie, said, "Oh, look what I found on you." And there was a Xanax in the bag. Well, it was open that Tommy did stuff like this. And he arrested Jesse for illegal possession, and see, that played with the Crow thing. When Tommy Nichols stopped Crow at the Stripes, he was trying to find some drugs on it, and it upset him. So, aggressive policing. So he planted a Xanax on Jesse. Now, for the national news, this is 918 West Lakeside, Corpus Christi, Texas. Chief Markle, President Chief, is fully aware of all the drug planting that's gone on. And so Jesse did 2 years in prison. He told his court-appointed lawyer, it might have been a lady, he said, "Look, he planted on me." And of course, like, let's run it through the system. Imagine Miss Watts, if that was your daughter, if you have a daughter. Can you imagine? This is why those things. Now, after Jesse did the 2 years, he became married to Angel Hanley. The apartments, their trailer park at 918 West Lakeside. Still there, Angel's still there, manages them. And I believe they finally separated or divorced. Tommy Nichols is a good friend of Angel. They all know each other. So when Jesse and Angel were both helping Tommy Nichols manage those houses and trailers over there, I used to go do Bible studies. Had a lot of friends I've worked with here for many years in the streets. But Jesse would tell me a couple times, in front of witnesses, he thought it was amazing because he told Tommy Nichols, Officer Tommy Nichols, "You see, you got to understand, this isn't just bad blood. This is hearing these fucking things." And he told Tommy one day, "So we'll verify. You could ask Angel Hanley, Wolf Blitzer, unless you're still on the Comey thing." So in front of witnesses, Jesse, this is what is recounted. Look, I believe it, because they told it like they couldn't believe it. But Jesse said to Tommy Nichols, "Do you remember me?" And Tommy Nichols said, "No." And Jesse said, "You planted that Xanax on me, and I had to do 2 years." And Tommy's response was, "Sorry about that." Now Jesse laughs. They thought it was funny because, like, he did it so many times. This is not targeting Tommy. This is seeing the history of this for so many years. So I wanted to clarify that all of these things, were there blowjobs? Yes. I always question whether they had to be done. I know they were, okay, because some of the guys were, but that plays on me. And then, like, just all of that shows me that, and then you go, Chief Markle goes on Jim Laga's show and talks about the good one, and I'm thinking, what a fucking joke. Do you understand? And then part of the history was you actually going up to people, certain officers, and just beating the fuck out of those people. Intimidation of witnesses. This is Corpus Christi, Texas. Do you understand? This is Corpus Christi, Texas. So what we want, I want you to see that. Because those guys are going to lie their asses off. So now I gave you some witnesses. Her name is Angel Hanley. She's a sweet friend, and she does manage the apartments. And so when the national media finally examines our beautiful city by the sea, you'll see there's a history. Okay? Tommy, you're not going to get arrested, or I don't believe. But you had to see all that. You had to see all that. That was very important for me to document today.